Hey YouTube, sorry it's been so long I've made a video. As you can see, the tanks are not in the same location they were before. I'm actually in my house now. Ended up switching jobs and moving these tanks to the house. Unfortunately, during the process, lost two fish. I ended up losing a Midas blenny and my yellow banded possum wrasse, unfortunately. I think the stress did them in. Ended up taking the angelfish back to the fish store during the move. He was being a bully in the tank and was nipping at the gorgonian corals, so ended up having to move him back to the fish store and rehome him to a better suited tank. So as you can see, things are slowly progressing again. Ended up dosing about 7.5 milliliters of calcium and 7.5 milliliters of alkalinity, or two-part. And I've gotten my alkalinity up to 9, calcium's 420, salinity is 1.027, and I ended up having to dose magnesium. My magnesium was 1200, so I brought it up to 1350. So everything's happy now, growing nicely. I had a bit of an algae bloom when I moved the tanks from all the detritus movement. You know, a lot of people say, hey, change out your sand bed, but, you know, in these small tanks and relatively new, they're only about a year and a half old now. The sand bed, I didn't change it out because I really wanted to keep the nitrifying bacteria and the overall ecosystem alive in the tanks. So I had a bit of an algae bloom, but that's been taken care of. So I did get some new corals. Ended up losing a couple corals during the move, but nothing major. So I'll go through each one of the tanks for you guys here. Here's the standalone 13.5 gallon. This is the mushroom tank. As you can see, I got a new little fish there, and then I also have a Yasha goby in here somewhere. I've no idea where he's at. He very secretive fish, comes out whenever he wants to. I mostly see him during twilight hours. I got these guys, these nice green big fuzzy mushrooms. They've been really awesome so far. I just picked them up today. They're still puffing up. This guy here, he's yeah, I had to move him a little bit closer to the light. He's liking that a little bit more, so he's nice and happy. Ended up realizing my nitrates and phosphates were low, almost undetectable, so I've been feeding more, and they've been coming out a little bit more. These are some of the newer mushrooms here as well. This is a fire shroom right here that's still growing. It came about the size of a dime, and it's about the size of a penny now, so he's doing pretty good. Some of the other mushrooms here are they're all out and happy. The flow in this is just the stock fluval pump, which has been doing pretty well. Just a couple of my Neptune bounce mushrooms, kind of hard to see the color, but those are green with an orange little bubbles on them. Yeah, so far everything's doing pretty well in this tank from the move. Getting some nice coralline on the rocks here, so definitely a step in the right direction, guys. This tank here ended up moving my gorgonian coral into this tank because the angelfish was nipping it constantly and it was all closed up. But as you can see, it's completely opened up now and happy. It's about time for the lights to cut out. As you can see, the tentacles are starting to grow back on this guy still, so we'll keep an eye on him, but he's still alive, still hanging in there. And this is the yellow banded possum wrasse that was from the original 13.5 gallon tank. The one that was originally in this one passed away, and this guy's been loving this tank. He's definitely eating all the pods and cruising around like he owns the place. Black widow and the male clownfish are doing really well. As you guys can see here, got a lot of hair algae that's slowly going away. I think as I trim this red pom-pom macroalgae down, Will slowly get taken out of the tank here shortly. Ended up moving this blue, I can't even ever pronounce this, Ipophia or macroalgae here over to this side of the tank. It's liking it a little bit better. It's growing pretty nicely. The newest addition in this tank, I'm a glutton for punishment, is the green bubble tip anemone in the back there. I just picked him up yesterday. I'm really curious to see how he does with these rainbows. Hopefully there's no warfare going on. A couple of these rainbows ended up moving up closer to the light during the move. So they've been pretty stable where they're at. They haven't moved much, so we'll see. Now that I'm here every day, the pH is more stable because I'm not in an enclosed environment and we're not having a lot of people in the office and then nobody on the weekends like we were in the other office. So things have been a lot more stable in the tanks. Here's the mixed reef up here. This is the 16-gallon tank. And as you guys can see, the green sinulaira's out. He's definitely more happy than he was earlier. The only coral that's really not happy is this toadstool leather. Unfortunately, I really don't know why he's not happy. As you can see, the other one's out. The gorgonian coral's coming back now that my parameters are more stable. He's definitely doing better. He does have a little bit of algae on some of the further branches. I might have to trim those off. Let's see, Sebastian, the cleaner shrimp right here, is doing really well. He's huge. He's still the boss of the tank. And this the Euphilia garden here has gotten a little bit larger. Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment with these guys too, but no more torches. I've decided against those until I could at least keep these guys alive for a while. And they've been alive for quite a while, getting some new heads on them, and things are growing really nice. This is the newest one here. It's got some really fat hammers on the end of it there. And this guy's also new. It's like a purple hammer is what the guy called it. But as you can see, just a really nice collection of colors. Duncan Coral, he's getting really big, lots of heads. I think he started out with 6, and he's got at least 18 on there, I would guess. Magic carpet mushroom is getting really large. That one also started out about the size of a dime or a quarter, and he's over the size of a $50 now. He's pretty big. Where is he? My Catalina goby, if I could find him for you guys. He's in here somewhere. He's been in the tank for over a year now. I know a lot of people say that it's impossible to keep them long-term in a reef tank, but I'm not having much of an issue so far. My water temperature is stable at 77. Gets down to about 76 at night here because of the cold weather here. We don't run the heater at night in the house, so it gets a little chilly. I think the guy's asleep right now, unfortunately. My Tanaka pygmy wrasse is also alive and well, hiding out somewhere in here. Let's see if I could see him in here. Yeah, he's in there somewhere. He was just eating earlier, so he's probably getting ready for bed. The lights are about to cut off. Yeah, so moving forward, just trying to keep everything stable. I did buy this power head here. It's been great. Add a little bit extra flow in the tank, and the corals have been really picking up with the extra flow. So maybe that's another component you need, is a little bit of extra flow. I'll take you guys down to the sump now. All right, down in the sump. If you look down here, you can see the algae's been slowly taking over this Calpura algae, and it's definitely awesome. It sucks the nutrients right out of the water. I still got quite a bit of hair algae down here. Skimmer's doing great, picking up plenty of that protein, but I'm still getting some bubbles. Ever since the move, I've been getting some bubbles here. It might just be because of the detritus I stirred up. I really don't know. It could also be because the tank is not perfectly level. I need to level the tanks out still. The one tank, here, I could kind of show you the water level. You can kind of see it's a little off, maybe a degree or two to get that stable. I'll have to get a jack in here now that they're full and put some shims underneath the right side there to level it out completely. But I think that's what the bubbles are coming from. So moving forward, I'm trying to do a little bit more videos, guys. I really want to do a deep dive on alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium, and their importance in the reef tank environment. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.